You want the direct payments larger or the uninsurance benefits
I want
larger?
the money getting to people to be larger so they can spend it. I want the money to get there quickly and in a non-complicated fashion.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So finally, we're getting really close to finding out everything that's going to be in the final bill. So over the last few months, I have been watching every single interview with President Trump, Steve Mnuchin, and everyone that has any say on what could possibly be in the final bill. So I'm going to break it down and I'm going to tell you guys what is more than likely going to be in this bill, and we're going to find out in the next week or two.
We will be doing another stimulus package. It'll be very good. It'll be very generous. And
How much? How much? People want to know.
You'll find out about it. You'll find out.
When are you going to do it? When are you going to announce it?
I think over the next, I think it's going to be bipartisan. I think it's going to be over the next couple of weeks probably.
Okay, so this is what I've came up with based on everything that I've been hearing for the last 2 months, and I will insert some clips at the end of the video so you guys can hear these things straight from the president's mouth. So he's very adamant on some of these things. So let's go with the first one, stimulus checks. So in the previous bill, H.R. 6800, the HEROES Act bill, well, the Democrats wanted to give us one more $1,200 check. And Trump said himself that he wants to give us a more generous check and he wants to get it to us as soon as possible. So I'm thinking, this is just my guess, it's probably going to be $1,500 or $2,000. There's a possibility it could be more than just one check, but that is a done deal. More than likely, we will get another check. It will be more than $1,200. And we will find out next week. Okay, again, number 2. President Trump said he will not sign another bill unless it includes payroll tax cuts. So that means everyone that is working right now, from now until the end of the year, no taxes will be taken out of our checks. And that's a good thing. That's going to put maybe an extra $400 in our pockets a month, depending on how much taxes are taken out of your check. So number 2, that is a done deal. I do not see Trump signing another stimulus bill unless it includes payroll tax cuts. That came straight from his mouth. Okay, so number 3, unemployment extensions. The Democrats want to extend the $600 a month extra that everyone now is getting in unemployment. So on top of what you're getting from the state, everyone on unemployment is now getting an extra $600 a month. So some states, these people who are unemployed by no fault of their own, are getting probably like $4,000 a month. So the Democrats want to extend that. Trump does not. Trump wants to give everyone a $400 bonus if they go back to work. So if you go back to work, on top of your pay, you will get an extra $400, and I guess that diminishes over weeks or months. So that is a done deal. People who are unemployed will get some kind of help in this next stimulus bill, so that is a good deal. And number 4, so again, in the bill, H.R. 6800, the HEROES Act, they really want to give essential workers a very generous bonus. I'm not hearing anything else about that. And I really hope that they put something in the final bill, because what they were wanting to do is they wanted to give all essential workers, everyone that still had to work during these last few months, they wanted to give us $13 an hour on top of what we've already made, retroactive from January 27th. Will that be in the final bill? My guess, probably not. And I'm an essential worker, and I would really like to see that in the final bill, but I'm just not hearing anything else about that, and that is not good. So more PPP loans, more than likely, that will be in the final stimulus bill. We'll find out about that. So, number 6, Trump said no funding for these states. I know in the bill HR 6800, the Democrats wanted to give all this money to all these states that were poorly ran. It was like $1 trillion. I do not see that happening. But what I do see happening is more funding to get these schools reopened. Trump wants the kids to be back in school like they should be. Democrats do not want them in school. So in this bill, there's going to be some kind of funding, some kind of money to get these schools opened by any means necessary. So this is what I think is going to be in the final bill. I know these are the most important things that people are looking at. There's other things that are, that will be in the bill that really has nothing to do with Corona at all, but you know what they do. They try to shove everything in there just to get the bill passed. So these are the 7 things that are more than likely going to be in the final bill. So what I'm really, really hoping for, me personally, I know we all have our own personal things that we're really hoping for. I'm hoping for a more generous stimulus check. And I know the payroll tax cuts will be in the final bill. Everyone's hoping for the unemployment extension. Hazard pay, I'm really, really hoping they put something in there for essential workers. But that is what I think is going to be in the final bill. We will find out in just a week or two. So I'm really curious as to when we see what's actually going to be in the final bill and I come back and look at this video, how right was I? Just by looking at all the interviews over the last few months. So that's how I have come to this conclusion. But anyway, guys, stick around to the end of the video and I'm going to insert some clips to show you guys how I come to this conclusion.
We need to continue to help people during this time who have lost their job. No question. Not every business is ready to reopen, by the way. And the employees who had to be let go by some businesses certainly shouldn't be punished for that. But at the same time, we've got to ask ourselves whether there's a way we can combine that need with the need to actually get people back to work as we reopen. I think there is. Specifically, I would propose that instead of keeping in place the additional $600 of the federal benefit for people on unemployment between now and July 31st, let's shift some of those federal dollars to a back-to-work bonus, a program where you'd let people take some of that $600 with them to work. I've proposed $450 a week. Others have different numbers probably. They think that's too much or they think it's too little. I chose $450 per week because that represents the amount that would be needed to make a person making the average minimum wage better off in the workforce than on unemployment. Again, this additional $600 benefit on top of the $360 average that states have means that unless you're making more than $50,000 or some states $60,000 a year, it's more advantageous to be on unemployment insurance than to go back to work. A recent study by the American Action Forum and the University of Chicago says that between 60 and 70% of individuals on unemployment are making more than they did in their prior job, 60 to 70%. Further, for the bottom 20% of wage earners, they say on average they are making double on unemployment insurance what they made in the workforce. So they say that for the bottom 20, thinking about helping people get by and helping to encourage them to stay home through unemployment, to thinking about how we can get people back into the workforce safely so we can get this economy, our small businesses, our hospitals, our colleges and universities back on track. We should also want to help people get...
I'm having discussions with both the Republicans and the Democrats to understand these issues. The president and I are having conversations with outside people, with business. We just want to make sure that before we jump back in and spend another few trillion of taxpayers' money, that we do it carefully. We had an emergency process. It worked quickly. We're there to help the American people. We're going to be considerate, and if we need to help the American people in every aspect of this, as I've said before, we're willing to spend whatever it takes. But whatever it takes needs to be done carefully.
The president says that he won't sign another relief bill without a payroll tax cut in it. But both Democrats and a lot of top Republicans are expressing grave concerns about that because they say a payroll tax cut doesn't help if somebody's unemployed and they're not on a payroll. And here's what the Senate Republican leader, Mitch McConnell, had to say about that.
I think I can safely say for our team here, the Republican Senate majority, if there's any red line, it's on litigation.
Litigation, of course, means liability protection, that if somebody goes back to work or goes into a restaurant, that they wouldn't be able to sue to say that they got the virus from that place. So given the hesitancy from the Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill, will you insist that a payroll tax cut be part of the next relief bill?
Well, we're absolutely pushing for the payroll tax cut. It's an incentive to get people back to work. It's delivering money to the American public and to business in a very effective way. And that will be one of the components. You've heard Mitch McConnell talk about liability. We agree with that completely. The Democrats have been asking for more money for states. We've been very clear that we're not going to do things just to bail out states that were poorly managed. But we're going to look at all these issues. And Chris, let me just emphasize, all these bills have had enormous bipartisan support. When we need to go back and work and help the American public, we'll do this in a bipartisan way and make sure we get all these things included.